Hi, I'm Lawrence.
I'm Nick.
And welcome to the Nick and Lawrence Show.
Alright, so we've been waiting for this particular topic for a while now, since it was announced.
Right.
And it is...
The Aladdin movie. New Aladdin movie.
So we're going to talk about the Aladdin movie that just came out, and the old Aladdin, the original animated movie, and then also the Broadway musical that is going on currently. It just came to our town.
It came to our town, exactly.
The national tour right now. But, so big topic. Everybody's talking about it. It's probably exactly what Disney wanted.
Right.
You know, good marketing, good PR for all the Aladdin hype going on. But what do you want to start with?
We could start off the original Aladdin. I've got because it really started all with the original movie, and then a couple years later, turned into the Broadway show for New York, and has now turned around the world. So this is at least a copy that I have. I have the one and only copy, Diamond Edition of Aladdin. There's with some pretty cool outtakes and other things and stuff. I think Nick noticed I did on my Instagram page. If you go there, you'll see a really cool shot that's a favorite of mine out of the outtakes. Apparently Robin Williams did every voice, and then they were drawing on sketching everything that he did with Aladdin. And one of my favorite little outtakes that's on this Blu-ray is when they get to a scene where he's given the rules of the wishes and stuff in the Aladdin movie, and so in one of the scenes he's like a Mr. Rogers kind of a character as the genie, but different things that he was coming up with as their
like his impressions
and stuff were coming out, and they were just doodling. So that's one of my favorite things of this Blu-ray, and of course there was a Platinum edition. There's been a VHS. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Aladdin until I'd seen it once or twice here and there, but when they started, talking and pitching the newer movie, I was like, well, okay, I need to, revisit at least the one copy of Aladdin that I have. It's not like my Beauty and the Beast collection that we showed a while back, but
so you weren't really a big fan of the original?
I mean, I never saw it in the theaters. I wasn't as hyped up as Beauty and the Beast was.
Yeah.
But
you like it though?
I like it.
Yeah.
So definitely like it. I love a lot of the outtakes and all the stuff they have featured on the Blu-rays. So
yeah, I wish they would release this again.
Well, the reason they released this and why it came out in the package deal was because Robin Williams had passed away in 2014. So 1 year later, they released it just in memory of him. That I don't think that it was originally part of the Diamond Edition package. It was in the Platinum, but then when Robin Williams' death came, where Disney had to put it out on Diamond Edition, so I had to snag a copy before it went back into the vault.
Is it back in the vault?
I think it is back in the vault.
I'll have to look on Amazon. It's probably only on eBay.
Probably.
Yeah. Now I have a digital copy of it that I bought, I think just on iTunes, but I'd like to have the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So this is, and like we were mentioning at the beginning, at least I went and saw the Broadway show that's been happening in our area. We live in kind of the West Coast and the capital of California, so we live in Sacramento, and they were from
the 15th, I think,
right around Mother's Day weekend, and it's going to be ending, I think, sometime this next
weekend, which is
next weekend.
Well, as we're recording, so the play it came for like 2 weeks, and it started, I think it was like the 14th or the 15th. If that was the weekend, and it ends June 2nd. Yeah, so that's a Sunday.
Yeah, so as we're taping this, it's coming to the end, and as you guys are watching this, like in the year 2025 or something.
Yeah, so it's relevant right now, but Lawrence went and saw it Saturday?
And
I saw it on Thursday.
Okay.
So the Thursday before Lawrence went and saw it.
So this is the program. Pretty cool cast, I think.
Now, have you seen it before?
This was the first time I'd seen it.
Broadway version,
but when I went through and was reading through, I realized that one of the actors who's going to, I think today, one of the actors who was playing Aladdin, because I think they switched between actors and actresses throughout this play version. It looked as if I read it correctly, that the person who was in the original play came back and appeared in the last couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
The one who was in the original Broadway musical.
Right.
Yeah, in New York.
Yeah, New York.
Yeah, I think he played
Aladdin, I think.
Well, in this version, the one that we just saw,
Yeah.
he played the first prince.
Oh.
I think. Prince, I forget what his name was, but yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prince Abdullah.
Yeah, Aladdin, Broadway, and everything. So that was.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was the first prince that came for Jasmine before Aladdin.
Right.
In this play.
Before getting eaten by a large tiger.
Yeah.
Depending on how you look at it, I did find the Broadway very interesting, and people are like, well, we like to hear. I missed, I missed the animal characters like Abu and Raj.
they took that out, which is funny because I saw the Wizard of Oz musical on stage, and they actually had a live dog play Toto the whole play, and you could tell it was cute, but it was kind of tough because they had to keep track of the dog. The dog was trained, or sedated.
Right. I see a lot of different productions of Wizard of Oz, and it's either live dog or it's a toy dog that happens to be, and they go around it because the dog doesn't go anywhere if it's a plush.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was interesting about the play is they don't have even a fake monkey or tiger. They don't have Raja. They don't have Abu, and they don't have Iago.
No costumed characters, and
they have Iago, but he's played by a man.
Right.
And
that's kind of what they did with the Lion King. It was all human actors, but they did it to the style of Africa and how the costumes which could have made a little bit more sense if they could have said, okay, we're imagining you to be a monkey when it comes, or we're imagining you to be the tiger or something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they got to be kind of creative with the live plays.
Right.
But it just makes it fun. Makes you use your imagination.
Right.
But
I did like the carpet feature in the.
Yeah, it actually flew with magic. It was a magic carpet. You couldn't. No, I mean, seriously though, you couldn't see the wires if there were wires. It was almost like it was a hoverboard or something.
We won't tell Mickey that he was really behind the scenes.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that was a fun part. They did some other like little magic tricks too, where like the genie disappeared, or Aladdin. They made Aladdin disappear or appear.
I always find
cool.
Broadway shows are amazing. I never went and saw the. People have always said, "Did you ever see the stage show at Disneyland?" And
you never saw that one?
I never saw it, but I've heard interesting things.
I haven't seen it either.
But I pictured going to this Broadway show and imagining what that must have been like at Disneyland, because there was a joke, at least in the show, that I said where the guy said, I gained so much weight in my lamp by eating curly fries.
Nice.
That was a really clever.
Yeah. That was the genie's always funny.
The genie's always funny.
Yeah, they made the genie funny and really funny in this one, and then I guess also at the California Adventure Show they used to have the genie was really funny there too. They just like hired a comedian.
Right. Well, they had an Aladdin show in Fantasyland for a while.
Yeah.
In Disneyland. So
yeah.
Cool.
Well, no, the show they had at Disneyland was the one at the more recent one that they just replaced with the Frozen show was at the Hyperion Theater in California Adventure. If you've ever seen it, but I heard good things. It was funny. That's what people were comparing this one to, the Broadway. And I actually have heard, when we talk a little bit about the new movie we both saw, some people were comparing the live action remake to the Broadway musical.
So sometimes it makes you wonder if you could compare it to even the live action characters. And I do have pictures that I have of me at the Disneyland park, and we'll show those on Instagram. But I have one picture that I have of me with Jasmine,
of course,
in the Fantasyland area. And then I have another picture that I have with both Aladdin and Jasmine outside. I think that the place where they had the Aladdin stuff going on was right outside of where the Tiki Room is in Adventureland. So you would have seen them there for a long time, but they're not there anymore. They've turned it back into the Tiki Room. Yeah. But that's for another.
Yeah, that's for another episode. We can do a Disneyland past, present, and future.
But I only wanted to say that, I got to see those characters at Disneyland to try to, just like we were talking about, comparing, the characters, which has always been fun about, even those characters, bringing those to. And I think that the characters at Disneyland that you see
walking
around really do resemble what you would have seen in the cartoons. So I'm sure that anybody who's seen this movie and is going to Disneyland now is going to...
Well, they'll probably like amp it up more.
Well, they kept
because of the movie.
Well, Belle and Beast from Beauty and the Beast 2017. You know, you saw the Beast a lot more, and you saw Belle, but it was the traditional 1991 cartoon.
Yeah.
And so that's what Disney is going to promote.
Oh, I'm sure.
Hence the shirt that I just bought at the movie theater for the
new shirt, but
old characters.
That's cool. I want to go get one of those actually. Yeah. I like it.
Go to the blue.
Yeah, I already have 2 Genie shirts, but I'll have to get an Aladdin one. So yeah, what was I going to say? If you remember in our last episode, I talked about my trip to Disneyland Paris, and still there at Disneyland Paris. I don't know if they have a show. We didn't see any of the shows, but they actually have an Agrabah little part of the park. And so they have a little walkthrough that's got miniatures of the Aladdin movie, and they have like, it's not very big. I think they have a restaurant, and they have some other little shops. They have like a little street bazaar with with Disneyland stuff for sale, but they have all the little buildings built up to look like Agrabah. So that was cool. So
that's pretty much a generic of the of Aladdin going from 1992 up to the movie that came out, which was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, let's just dive into it. We'll wrap up with what we thought about the movie. I'll start by saying we haven't talked about it yet. Lawrence just saw it yesterday, and I saw it last week. But I'll start off by saying just straight up, it doesn't compare to the original. And try to go into it if you haven't seen it yet, or if you have seen it and you're thinking about it. The cartoon is a classic. The animated version with Robin Williams it set the standard, it set the bar for Disney's Aladdin, and the new one is clearly a remake, and I liked it. I thought it was fun, and visually everything was bright and colorful, and I enjoyed it, but it's definitely subpar compared to the original, in my opinion at least. But I don't know, what did you think about it?
I thought it was pretty good. I had heard interviews prior to that where Will Smith said, "I'm going to try to make my own style," because he definitely went into it not, because he knew that Robin Williams already did a fantastic job, and you couldn't,
It would have felt weird if he tried to just copy him.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Will Smith has his own style.
Right. I mean, I want to say it was pretty good. It took me a while to figure out certain scenes because,
they changed some stuff up.
They rearranged the
That's a
film.
good way to put it, yeah.
Rearranged the film.
Pretty much all the iconic scenes are in the movie. Just the way they presented them was a little different.
But I still liked it. I got a little worried and stuff about how the movie was gonna play out, but it ended up turning out better than I thought, especially reading in. I mean, it's a remake, and to let you guys know, I was I feel like this is a better topic for us to talk about than anybody who's out there talking about the Adventure War movie, because there were so many movies that you did have to catch up with that. This is just a remake, and hopefully my advice is go and see the original. Of course, now that the movie is over 20 plus years, there can't. I always say, like we've said in previous videos, you can't really spoil an old classic, and there's the red box, and there's Blu-ray, and Amazon, and eBay, all of the different ways of getting it. So, by now,
you should know how Aladdin goes.
You should know how Aladdin goes.
Anything we say it shouldn't be a surprise, but there are some things in the movie that are different, and we won't spoil that. We won't talk about that. But my recommendation is, if you go and see this movie, after you watch it, go back and watch the animated version, and you'll see the difference. And I think it'll help bring out parts of the new movie if you get reminded of what the old one was like. Because even though it's a reimagination and it's a live version with a lot of CGI kind of part, like the different CGI characters and parts like Genie, and I mean, just obviously there's a lot of things that were not realistic in the original because it was an animated drawing, but they had to recreate it the best they could in this new version. So
it was so there was a parrot. It should have been Iago, and because like we said, we'll give you some of the parts that we do know the characters and stuff, so that won't be too much of a spoiler. But I found it very odd that Iago was just called Parrot within the movie.
Yeah. Iago was probably the least interesting character, and I don't know why they went that direction because they made Abu like cute and lively.
He looked like Abu,
and they made him be Aladdin's friend and
the elephant and all.
Yeah, they turned him into the elephant like in the original, and Iago just didn't really have any personality.
Right.
They just kind of made. I don't know. Maybe it was because it was live action, so they wanted to try and make it more like he was a real parrot, but they didn't kind of make him like a real parrot, and he just kind of repeated what Jafar said a lot.
Right, which is not typical of a parrot, but
but not Iago.
But Iago has to go and finally step out of character, step the fourth wall.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say I have a craving for jam now, but I won't give too much of a spoiler for that.
Yeah.
You got to figure out what I mean for the jam.
Yeah, it's funny. That's funny. Yeah.
But I do think that Will Smith had a really great characteristic, and I kept telling myself, okay, so when is, because I've known him for the long time as being the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I'm like thinking, okay, Carlton's gonna. I actually kind of visualized with Aladdin, with Aladdin anyway, with the way that they did the story without going too much into detail. I felt like Aladdin, and this one was kind of a Carlton, but everybody will have to have their opinion.
That's funny. Yeah, it wasn't Prince Ali. It was Fresh Prince Ali. of Agrabah. No, it's a little different because Will Smith is Will Smith. He has his own personality and his charisma and his character, like that he brings to lots of movies. He played a different genie, and I think I'll say that it was fun when it was more fun for me when Will Smith was playing the genie as himself, like as a human. Right. Because when he was playing the genie as the blue genie, it was obviously fake. It was computer generated, so it didn't look as real, and it was hard to really get into character with him as for me at least as the computer generated genie, because I think maybe, I don't know, it's just the way it was. I think maybe they could have spent a little more time on the CGI or tried to do more live action with him actually, like maybe just having him have a fake tail and do more of his body and real face than computer generating everything. So that was a little distracting, but I thought he was funny in most of his scenes. I think my opinion on him is he was probably the best character in the movie. Yeah. I mean, and that's kind of how it's supposed to be, because Robin Williams was the genie, and the genie was the most, like, the reason why the original animated movie was so funny and good. And so it's almost like Aladdin and Jasmine were just like secondary characters. So anything else you want to talk about the movie? What did you think overall?
I want to say it was pretty good. I mean, it took me a while to really figure out where they were going with this remake storyline at first.
Yeah, so that's why that was one of the reasons why I recommend going to see the new movie first and then going and watching the old one. Right. Because then if you watch the old one first, you're kind of expecting that story when you watch the new one, and then it's not really the same. It's the same sequence of events, but it's not really laid out the same in the new one, and they went a different direction with Jasmine in a couple parts, but and they went a different direction with Sultan and Jafar also, and like we said, Iago.
And there's definitely a new character in the movie.
That's true.
I did like I liked the new character. It was an interesting way to to do the things that they needed to do for the movie. I don't know. It was a really good movie that I probably would go and probably see it again.
See it again, yeah. I'll see it again if I have an opportunity to go to the theaters and see it again. I would see it in theaters again, but I also buy it when it comes out.
Well, I know that I just realized I was looking through YouTube where we host our show on, and they've already got the movie that you can pre-order the movie.
Oh yeah.
I'm like it's just about coming out to theater, and certain streaming services are already allowing you to
I don't know what I never understood that with as many ways as you can buy movies now. Why would you want to pre-order it? Just wait for it to come out.
It's messing up, but what we did
it's not like
when
you're
we were
getting a discount.
kids,
Yeah.
it's like we went to the theater. It took a long time to get all that film put onto a little box called a VHS thing, and then you could go, like we talked about in early,
Blockbuster.
We talked about Blockbuster and going to Blockbuster, grabbing our candy, and you could really enjoy what you enjoyed when you went to that one-time theater treat. Nowadays, I mean, our theaters around here do what they call $5 Tuesdays, which is always nice. So you could go and see, depending on which theater there isn't reserved seating, go and pay the $5 and see like a couple of 4-hour shows.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, if you had the strength to do that.
Well, and even with most movies now that are like for rent on your TV, like you stream and stuff, those movies are $5 too. Like sometimes more than $5 if you want the HD version, and you can just go to the theater and watch the movies for cheaper at some of the theaters.
I know around here we have, even the movie grill that I've gone to, does a $5 Tuesday, so that's kind of nice. You go
movie and a dinner.
Go get a movie or a lunch.
Or lunch, yeah.
Might go earlier in the day. Take an hour and a half off from your work day and go.
The movies are fun. I think this movie is fun to see in theaters if you can see it like on the biggest screen with the nice sound system and maybe 3D if you're not bothered by 3D.
I think those are the two things I got to do. I think I need to check out IMAX and because I noticed that they had 3D and it makes me almost want to go and now see, because I have a feeling already even with the 2D effects you almost got the 3D effect, and I bet you that the 3D would probably be fun, because then you get it might even make the movie better. It's plain vanilla, but then you put the 3D glasses in, and then Raja really comes at you and you're like
that. I don't know if you meant to say that, but that's kind of my description of the movie. Is it's vanilla. Overall, I liked it. I thought it was fun. Like you said, it was fun. It was visually interesting to watch. They did really good on the set designs and on the costumes, and the the casting of the movie was really spot on. I think everybody kind of looked the part, and it was fun.
Right.
But the movie overall, I felt, and you might think differently, and that's fine. But I felt like it never had any high moments. It never had any moments where you're just like on the edge of your seats. The songs were fun, but there's some things that I think really didn't bring them to life as much as they could have. So I like vanilla ice cream, and so that's
just do the 3D in it, and
maybe I'll spice it up a little.
Sprinkles.
Yeah, put a little sprinkle on it. But yeah, for me it was a good movie. I don't know if it needed to be remade. I feel like maybe they could have just left it, but I don't know. It was fun.
We'll give our opinions, and I know that for the younger crowd who hasn't seen Aladdin, I mean, at least the plus side is for a newer generation, because when we've talked about Disney movies go into the vault,
right?
And I mean, unless you happen to have the money and you can find this someplace.
Well, you could find it on VHS, but nobody has a VCR anymore.
Right, videotapes are kind of. But the thing is that Blu-rays can get expensive, and some people up the price nowadays, and then it's like.
I think that's a good way to describe it. It's a good movie for just
a newer
like for us who we know the story and we grew up with the original. But it's a great movie for the new generation.
The new generation hasn't seen it.
Yeah, and I think younger kids also. Kids who are, I would say, around the age that we were when it came out, the original. So maybe 10, and younger would really enjoy it. And they just with the way kids are these days, they might not like the cartoon as much because they're so used to all the
I think we or anybody who's about our age or somebody who has kids or has nephews and nieces, at least what we can do is to hopefully, if we have a copy in our library or something, pass it on to our nephews and nieces, or if you have kids, pass it to their kids, or if you're a grandmother who's just come and figured out how to work YouTube, congratulations. And but you could probably, if you have the old VHSs or the DVDs, definitely. I mean, that's what I'm doing with my nephew. My nephew, who you guys heard in one of our vlogs we did a while back on my trip to Disneyland, I am planning on passing all of the movies and stuff. He likes Aladdin and stuff, so he's seen the cartoon and really likes. So I've tried to show him most of the Disney movies.
Yeah, and if you watch YouTube, you can, once this comes out, you'll probably be able to rent it or buy it on YouTube.
Right.
Because they do movies too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, overall, I give it my 2 thumbs up.
I give it 2 thumbs too.
So that's 4 thumbs up for us here. And if I was going to rate it based on how I normally rate movies, this movie gets a I will buy.
Okay.
When it comes out, so that's a good thing. It means I want to keep it. I want to spend money on buying it. But yeah, so let us know what you thought of the movie if you saw it. If you haven't seen it, let us know what you are excited about in the comments section below. And until our next video,
I'm Lawrence.
I'm Nick.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.